Yeah, I mean, undefeated Virginia playing at Notre Dame. Notre Dame trying to bounce back from that heartbreaker in Athens, Georgia last week. The quarterback book's just going to have to keep him going, man. He's got 828 yards on 8 touchdowns, only the two picks. Perkins for Virginia, he's got 843 yards and 6 touchdowns, and he's got 4 interceptions.
And he's also the leading rusher too.
Yeah, he is. He's got 193 yards rushing for the Terrapins. So this one's going to. He's a dynamic guy, man. You're going to have to count for him on every play. Points per game. Virginia's averaging 35. Notre Dame's averaging 39. Points allowed are exact same, 18 points a game. Total yards of 370 is what Virginia is allowing and are getting. And Notre Dame's averaging 445 yards. Notre Dame has the advantage in the passing game by about 70 yards, 300 to 236. The rushing is pretty much even, 133, 144. The yards allowed looks like Virginia's a little stiffer on defense, especially on rushing yards. 75 yards. But there again, that's misleading because they've been beating the crap out of people, and teams have to abandon the run early and just start passing. But they're only allowing 188 yards passing, and Notre Dame is only allowing 157. And Georgia did a number on them last week because they're.
Oh yeah, Georgia. Definitely exposed that.
Yeah, with Georgia, it's a different talent thing because Georgia has got NFL running backs. I mean, they got NFL players all over the field on their team, and when Notre Dame went in there, they just made a great showing for themselves. A lot tougher than everybody thought they were going to be. But you think they're going to have enough to bounce back and beat these guys?
I believe they're comeback. I believe it's at home. I mean, this is like, only their second home game already this year. So.
Well, they are favored by 12 at this point, so.
But things could change. But, I mean, I'm saying Notre Dame probably will cover, hopefully by 14, hopefully by 320.
Yeah. I mean, Maryland, like I said, you have a team that dynamic offensively, especially with a playmaker like their quarterback. It's not going to be a cakewalk.
You definitely have to change it up, probably. Always kind of maybe do like the fake blitz just to see what's going to happen, because that guy, he is very talented, but he does lead both in offense for passing and receiving, and rushing. So I'm saying Notre Dame.
I think I'll go with you on this one. I think Notre Dame. Next one I want to go out west and talk about Washington at USC. You got the number 17 team versus number 21 team. Yeah, this one's going to be a fun one because, usually when you're watching the Pac-12 teams, you got to stay up till 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning to watch the games. But this one is this one's going to be at 2:30 Central Time to kick off here. USC traveling to Washington to play the Huskies. Both teams 3-1. USC 21st ranked team.
I think that's a very generous 21st team.
Could be. And then Washington is 17. Quarterbacks Eason and Slovis. I mean, this one's going to be fun. I mean, Slovis has got 732 yards already on 5 touchdowns, 4 picks. Mr. Eason's got 1,063 yards already, 10 touchdowns. The passing yards are just they actually favor USC because they got 324 yards passing in a game, and Washington's averaging 270. The running, Washington's got 190 yards a game, and USC's rushing for about 118. Not quite student body right and student body left anymore.
You're right. I mean, what intrigues you about this game? Like, if you were to watch this game, I know there's some other great games going on. I'm really, I really think that 21st for USC to be ranked is very soft. I gotta go for Washington in this game just because it's at home. It's an early game, so it's gonna be more viewership wise.
Yeah.
I mean, I love when a Pac-12 game is a good game. It doesn't get over to 1 or 2 o'clock if there's high scoring like some of the games, but I gotta go for Washington in this week.
Yep, they're playing at Washington, but I just love watching those West Coast games, in the sunshine and stuff when maybe dreary other parts of the country. But to me, the intrigue in this one's all about the two quarterbacks, Eason and Slovis. I mean, that's Pac-12 football. When I think of Pac-12 football, I think of quarterbacks. I mean, they seem to always have a slew of good ones out there, and this one's going to be no different. These two kids were highly touted. The defenses, Washington's defense is a little stouter than USC's. It could be based on who they've played, but USC's given up 421 yards. Washington's given up about 330 a game. Both of them are giving up over 100 yards rushing. USC's actually given up 170 yards rushing, so that's not good. I mean, Washington may want to come out there and try to inflict their will on the running game and put that high-flying offensive USC's on the sideline, but, Ahmed's already got 246 yards and 2 TDs on just 44 carries, so they might look to establish that ground game. But, I'm just going to look forward to this because it's going to be an aerial circus for USC. I mean, receiver, Pittman is just already tearing it up, 437 yards. I believe he had 230 last week, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this one's going to be fun. Husky Stadium. I think I'm going to take Washington in this. I think they may have just a little better seasoning at quarterback. Slovis is young, so I think I'm going to pick Washington on this one right here.
Okay. And what's the other game that kind of caught your eye this week you want to talk about?
Let's talk about Utah and Washington State. This one's going to be fun right here because Washington State going to Utah. This one is just going to be just a joy to watch because of Anthony Gordon, man. Just 137 out of 183. The kid's already got 1,894 yards passing. He's got 21 touchdowns. I mean, 3-1. Last week he's coming off that just incredible game, 9 touchdowns. They're going to be looking to bounce back. Man, this one is going to be just a barn burner if you like offense. Unfortunately, it starts at 9 o'clock at night, so you may have to get you a nap.
Yeah, or
before this one comes on.
or have it recorded and watch in the morning.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this because you know what, we hadn't talked about this much, but if we start talking about Heisman trophies, this kid's got to be in the mix.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you just look at. I mean, that's not whether you're playing against high schoolers or anybody putting up 9 touchdowns in a game, and you're in your 4th game of the season already, you got 21 touchdowns. I mean, you're just unconscious. And I know they're inflated because of last week, but still, this one, just look at some of these numbers. I mean, Washington State is averaging 605 yards of offense a game, dude. I mean, whoa. And then, it's not like Utah's that slouchy because they're averaging 443 yards a game. Washington's a little stingier on defense. They're only allowing 274 yards. And, Utah's stingier. Washington State's giving up 424 yards. I mean, it's going to be just a track meet up and down that field, man. And I can't wait to see it. I mean, golly.
I just really hate when they make these good games so late at night.
I know, man.
Because they're they're taking away the viewership. If they get more viewership, if they just edit the time, because
people 3 o'clock. Man.
People in New York or heck where we are, it's 2 hours behind us.
Yeah, it's 3 hours behind New York.
So
you got a kid like this, and people aren't, the voters on the East Coast aren't watching this kid.
Yeah, so the Pac-12 this year, they need to definitely address this because I
thought Fox was going to address some of this, but I think they want football games on from 11 o'clock at morning all the way through 11 12 at night. I mean, they want,
man.
man.
But just if I was a commissioner of the Pac-12, I would be, looking at these games and looking at the viewership.
Don't matter. TV runs the show. I mean, without the TV, they're not. So as long as they're locked into that contract, they're going to do what the TV network says.
I mean, I guess it works for whoever's a diehard fan of either just loves sports. But for me, it's like the game would get over like around 1:00 in the morning. But I mean, it should be a good game either way.
Well, the crowd there at Utah is just going to be raucous. Just having this flying circus come to town, and man, that would be one I'd like to be at the game to watch. I mean, I would love to sit there and watch this. I mean, because both, Huntley's not a bad quarterback himself. Tyler Huntley, has got 812 yards, 5 touchdowns. I mean, he's good in his own right. But, when you're playing against Gordon, like, golly, man, this kid he's putting up those early run and shoot numbers like you saw at the University of Houston back in the early 90s. So, but yeah, this one's going to be fun. I know we're talking a lot about the West Coast games this week, but golly, the matchups are just there. I'm just not seeing a lot of other matchups that are as intriguing as this one. A lot of these big teams in the SEC aren't really playing anybody good.
Right. So, and just this week is definitely a favor for the Pac-12.
Because you got some teams idle, right? In the SEC, LSU and Georgia both are idle.
Yep. And so what's another game you want to talk about?
Let's do one more out here on the left coast. Let's talk about California and Arizona State. So how do you see this one, Michael?
Well, with Cal coming in undefeated, going against Herman Edwards, and it's really a tough one for me. I'm not thinking anything bad behind Arizona State, but I'm rooting for Cal this game. Ranked 15th, which I think they could have been a little bit higher because just of how they've been outperforming this year.
You know what? If this is an undefeated team in any other conference, they're in the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
But this shows you how the bias is against these teams if you're not in the SEC.
We've talked about that earlier about how just the time of day that these games start once again. But you're right, no one in the East Coast will probably watch this game. But I'm going for Cal, but I wouldn't put anything past Arizona State to win. Herman Edwards, with his trickery of game calling that he's done.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you got the freshman quarterback for him over there. Daniels has just been playing out of his mind. I mean, the kid's already got 1,073 yards and 5 touchdowns. Garbers is not playing too shabby either. The kid's got 835 yards. He's got 7 touchdowns. They both are going to try to throw the ball a lot, but yards rushing, Cal's a little better at running the ball than Arizona State is. Their defenses are pretty close. Arizona State does defend the run a little better than California does, but the Bears are better against the pass. There's only 20 yards difference in what they're averaging giving up. But I'm thinking Cal, man. They played some prolific quarterbacks. North Texas quarterback can light you up. So they've played 4 really good quarterbacks and
no love for them. And it's
because nobody's watching them.
Yep. And I think if they had viewership, I would put them in the top 10.
Like I said, if they're undefeated, if this team's undefeated in the Big Ten, they would be in the top 10. If this team was undefeated in the SEC, they'd be in the top, 5. That's just how the rankings are so skewed. But yeah, this one's going to be a fun one. Just look for a lot of ball control. For you're not going to see as many explosive plays out of California as you do some of these other teams, but they're a very good balanced team. I really like them. I'm picking them in a close one over Arizona State.
And I'm picking Cal.
Yep, me too.